What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Thrift Shopping here, and today we are going to be talking about the damage calculations with the two new weapon series that we have in the game, that Neos Astraean series that is dropping from the Dark Files Aegis fight, and the brand new Neos Justitean weapon series that has dropped in the brand new limited quest, the 24-man limited quest. So hopefully you're having a great time with that. But with that said, let's go ahead and talk about the two brand new series, what they do, and then we're going to get into the calculations and see just how strong they are when compared to other weapons that we already have in the game. I'm not going to do too much discussion in this video since just the other month we had a huge discussion with the release of Tenebris and Gunblaze. So if you have any questions about some previous weapon series, please refer back to that video. Alright, so first weapon up, we have that Neos Astraean series. This weapon at level 60 gives you 761 attack power, which is the most attack power we have in the game currently. It does have that damage adjustment of 50% to 100%, and the equip conditions are going to be level 70. Its item potential is called Flowing Spring Unit, and at level 4, this is going to provide you 32% potency and a special ability of your Photon Blast gauge charge rate increasing by 25% when attacking. And when you use a Photon Blast, your PP consumption is reduced by 15% for 90 seconds. This is a wonderful potential to have on a weapon simply because it's giving you a bunch of potency, so you're hitting harder, and paired with your Photon Blast gauge charging quicker, this means you're using your strongest Photon Blast attack more often, and when you do use that, all of your skills are becoming cheaper. So all in all, this is a fantastic item potential to have on the brand new weapon. And now on to the brand new Neos Justitean series. This is also an 8-star weapon. It has 671 attack at level 60, the same damage adjustment as other 8-star weapons, and the equip condition is also level 70. However, this Neos Justitean series is a light element weapon. The interesting thing about the Justitean series is it has that exact same item potential. It's not called Flowing Spring, it's called Circulating Spring Unit, but it also boasts 32% potency and that same Photon Blast gauge charge rate increasing by 25% when attacking. And when you do use that Photon Blast, your PP consumption is going to reduce by 15% for the following 90 seconds. What was announced in the previous headline is that you can actually multi-weapon the Justitean and Astraean series together, so you can actually decide on what type of weapon you want to have as that main weapon. Do you prefer to go with a weapon that has a higher attack, or with the weapon that has an element attached to it? And that's what we're going to discuss today, which one is in fact better for you. So as always, we will be using Cakewalk's damage calculator, and I'm going to do a quick update on the augments since we do have that Halfinal capsule that is making its way into the current best in slot capsule setup, and paired alongside Alt Secreta, Fossil 4, Mastery 4, and those Adidef capsules, we are going to have our new best in slot capsule setup. So I'm going to build those on 3 Eclair armors, and we're going to take a look at the damage calculations. And as you see here, we have that Neos Astraean series, a clean Neos Astraean as our baseline weapon. Anything in red is performing weaker than a clean Neos Astraean. Anything in green is performing stronger. So you are seeing a bunch of green, but it's only on a couple weapon series. Upon first glance, the Neos Astraean series is above and beyond every other weapon series. However, with that being said, I would like you guys to look at the Gunblaze series, especially the Fixa Fatale Gunblaze series. If you do have yourself a Fixa Fatale 2 or 3 weapon, and you are pretty consistent on keeping the Gunblaze potential up and active, it is in fact better than a clean Neos Astraean. With that being said, this does require a lot of uptime. So it does make sense to simply use a clean Astraean and not have that randomness or that RNG factor involved with your weapon. I think one of the most interesting things to look at is how strong Rugged still performs in this current meta. If you have yourself a Fixa Fatale Rugged with either of the Citadel gyrating or that Pursuit unit, you're within 2 to 3% of a clean Neos Astraean still. So there might be some extremely great deals out there because people are not looking at these Rugged series. You might be able to get your hands on a great weapon for just a couple million that is still performing extremely well. And if you like what their item potentials are doing, you're receiving that extra bonus as well. Not to mention, just below that, we have the Tenebrous series. If you're using the Tenebrous series and you're fighting anything that's weak to ice, you're within 1% of the potential that Neos does provide. So especially for those Stia purples, the Tenebrous series is still performing extremely well, and you don't necessarily need to look into upgrading. But with all of those weapons out of the way, let's look at the big guns, the Neos Astraean and the Neos Justitean. Which one is the best for you? Upon looking at these calculations, the Neos Astraean series takes the crown as the best weapon currently, especially if you can get your hands on a Fixa Fatale version. You're anywhere from 3 to 6 or 7% stronger than any other weapon. Regardless, there is no stipulations to that. You are simply stronger because of the stats alone. And not to mention, guys, one thing to really consider here, this is purely raw damage. This is not factoring in the Photon Blast charge rate or the PP consumption that Neos Astraean and Neos Justitean is providing. Being able to use Photon Blast is our strongest attack, and being able to use that attack more often means that these numbers will skew even more in the Neos Astraean and Justitian's favor. So these series are actually a little bit stronger than this. Plus, PP consumption will also affect how many times you can attack with a photon art rather than a normal attack, which is once again going to skew these numbers in the favor of the Neos series. So all in all, the weapons are very wonderful. The question is, do you go with Justitian or Astraean? And this is a question on what content is important to you. If you like the Dark Files Aegis fight, we know we're going to be getting a rank 2 at some point. That rank 2 will most likely operate just like the previous Dark Files fight, where we are going to have limited lives, and it's going to have a time limit that may be difficult to complete. It is most likely going to be the case that the Neos Justitian is going to be the easiest weapon to get a Fixa on, and is going to assist in that fight a whole bunch more because you will be providing those light downs during that fight. And here is the damage calculations for the weapons when they are going against Dark Files Aegis. And as you can see here, the Justitian definitely skyrockets above the Astraean series when you are doing content that is weak against light. Once again, with that said, if you're using that Neos Justitian weapon series against any content that is not weak to light, you are suffering and you are not that much stronger than weapons that we already have. So it is, in my opinion, that you really should just hold out for a Neos Astraean. And really, if you can get your hands on a Fixa Attack 1, Fixa Fatale 1, even Fixa Termina 1, it is a few % stronger, and it's stronger in every piece of content. There's no rules or restrictions to this increase in power. So of course we're banking on a Fixa, but even Fixa 1 is that much stronger than anything else that we currently have. In all honesty, I really like this Neos Astraean series. The Dark Files Aegis fight is pretty darn fun, and it's something that everybody's looking forward to right now. So just continue doing that. Hopefully you get yourself a Fixa drop, and you can be experiencing these large numbers against any content that we will experience right now and in the future. Let me know down in the comments below, how do you feel about the Neos Astraean series and this brand new Justitian series? And with all of that being said, guys, I wish you best of luck with those drops, and I'll see you all in the next video.